am going to go ahead and start. I'm traveling, so I've been in this space with you before. It's just a nice inn that my husband and I visit frequently. Now that he's retired, we find any and all excuses to get away and come over here. So it's nice to be able to share this with you. When I head back to the chair, you'll see the fireplace, and it's kind of dreary outside today, so the fire's kind of nice. So let's start with a little breath awareness, breath focus. Let's bring both hands to the heart. So, in whatever way feels comfortable for you, both hands to the heart. Kind of adjust yourself in your chair. Give yourself a few deep inhales, maybe even sighing on your exhale, just a way to let go of whatever led up to this moment in your day. Let it go. And let's just be present right here. And just contemplate the fact that placing the hands over one's heart or in the region of the heart chakra in yoga, Anahata chakra, right here under your hands, under the sternum, under the breastbone, is really kind of a universal gesture when we're trying to communicate that I am me. And you put your hands right here, right at the heart, or this is mine, me. So with that in mind, with the hands over the heart, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. And don't try to control the mind. See if you can step back and observe the mind. It can be as busy as it wants to be, but just step back and watch. Watch all that busyness coming and going, and you can sit here quietly with your hands over your heart. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. Drawing in what you need on your in breath. So prana, breath of life, draw it in, pull it in. There's plenty. It's abundant. We have to receive it though. And in order to receive, we have to make space. So as we exhale, we let go. And just make that a process here as we're breathing and becoming aware. We don't have to assign labels to things we need to let go of. We just trust in the process. Trusting that we'll receive what we need on the inhale. And we'll let go of whatever no longer serves on the exhale. And even the act of letting go isn't with judgment. It's not thinking that, oh, I'm letting go of things that are bad. You're just letting go of things that aren't useful anymore. That can be emotions, beliefs. That can just be the byproducts of metabolism. Let go. Make space. Receive. We'll take about 3 or 4 more breaths here. Hand over heart. Sitting back and watching the mind. Receiving prana on the inhale. And releasing and making space on the exhale. And then start wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers. That's kind of how we usually end the class. But I like to revisit the fact that there's always things to be released, right? We can't hang on to everything. Some of us, me, try sometimes to hang on to too much stuff, too many worries, too many things to control. And letting go is a way to make space and receive all of the abundance. All of what you need is here. Maybe you just need to make space for it. Maybe you just need to trust. Maybe you just need to allow. So having said that, I'm going to find my way back to the chair by the fire. There, and that fire is every bit as wonderful as it might look on screen, and I will try to actually get some of that piped into you while we spend time together. It's very warm. And I was telling Jacqueline at the beginning, before I started, that it's kind of a drizzly, dreary day here in Ohio. So this fire is really nice. All righty, let's bring some energy into the body, some energy to get us through the rest of the day. So we're going to get rid of any stagnation, any just bleh, any of the doldrums, and we're gonna perk up right here and right now. So let's just reach up, inhale. And then as you exhale, press the hands down. Inhale, reach up. Oh, maybe a little stretch when you get here, maybe a little yawn. Oh, good morning stretch, or right after a nap kind of stretch. And then exhale, let it go. Let's do 3 more like that. Inhale. So you can hang out here if you want to and stretch, or exhale, bring the arms down. 2 more. You do you. Reach, stretch, exhale down. Last one. Now bring the hands together. Don't look up there. Bring those hands together really slowly. Feel every little point of contact. Activate different centers in the brain. So these touch centers. And we're going to push into the hands and bring the arms down. Now my forearms are pretty parallel to the floor. I'm going to lace the fingers. Inhale, palms are facing the earth. As I exhale, I'm going to reach. And initially, I'm just going to reach with my arms. So the arms are reaching. I'm getting a nice stretch in my upper back. The trapezius muscle, rhomboid muscles. Now bring those hands right back, touch the heart again. This is me. I'm taking care of me today. Now reach, reach, reach. Push those shoulders down. See if you can get taller. Reach through the crown of the head. And then come back to center. Let's do one more like that. But this time as you reach, maybe around the spine. I'll turn sideways again. And don't forget to tuck the chin. Exhale all the way, might make a little more space. And then inhale, we're going to swoop those arms up. And exhale, bring the arms down. Let's swing those arms out and up again. Touch comes slowly. Let's let the brain really notice all of the places that you touch. Then push, add some pressure. So maybe a little muscle building here, a little strength building. Inhale. Exhale, push. Now my spine's pretty neutral. I'm going to bring my hands back to heart center. And then this time I'm going to reach down to the outside of my left thigh. So a little twist in the upper back especially. Let's pause here. So I'm pushing the hands down on the outside of the left thigh. Now see if you can wrap that left shoulder forward and around. Pull the right shoulder forward and around, pull the left shoulder back. And when I twist, it's harder for me to mirror for some reason. I think that's the limits of this old brain. That's okay. Now take your gaze over your right shoulder. Breathe into this twist. What does it feel like to breathe into this shape? Make this interesting. Notice what's different. We're not just going through the motions. We're feeling the sensation we create. We're feeling how the breath changes in these different shapes. And then bring hands back to heart. Let's release the arms down to the sides, maybe wiggle those fingers, and then inhale up. They go up fast, and then they come together slowly. Exhale, push, like you're pulling a sunbeam. We reached up so high, we got a sunbeam, and we got to pull it down in front of the heart. Lace the fingers. Now we're going to take those hands and arms over to the outside of the right thigh. And before we do anything with the head and the neck, let's see if we can bring a little more twist to the thoracic spine, the rib cage spine. Pull your right shoulder back as you wrap that left shoulder around, and then start your gaze over the left shoulder. Can get taller through the neck here. Breathe into the belly, big deep inhale. Exhale, draw navel towards spine. Squeeze the pelvic floor. That can be interesting. We're massaging the contents of the abdomen. So we just probably had lunch. Let's keep that digestion moving. We'll help that out with the breath. Inhale. Belly expands. Exhale, navel towards spine. Lift the pelvic floor. One more time like that. Inhale. And exhale. And then just release. Let's bring the arms down to the sides. Let's bring them forward. So we're going to swim like octopus or squid or hocus pocus fingers. You can move briskly through the fingers, but see if you can bring some awareness to all the joints of the fingers and thumbs. You want everything to get a little stretch and a bend here. And then turn the palms so they face up. I've got a gentle bend in my wrist. I'm going to flip through my wrists, wiggling through the wrists, opening up the energy that flows into the hands, opening up the blood flow that flows into the hands. And then the palms face down. Let's flick, flick, flick. And now the palms face each other like little fish tails. We're going to flick, 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 flick. And then shake, 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 shake. Shake them right down beside of you. Shake as much as you can. Shake way up into the arms, waking up the energy, bringing the yang energy, the energy of movement, action, being awake to the surface. We call that righteous yang energy. And then come to stillness very quickly. Feel. Just notice. Hopefully you're feeling a little something. That's the prana. That's your nervous system, but that's prana. That's life force energy. As you inhale, sweep those arms up again. As you exhale, let's take the right arm down to the side. We're going to reach up and over. Anchor the left sit bone. Push that sit bone down and then reach from that place. Breathe into the left ribs now. Big inhale. And exhale. I take the hand behind the head. I like these rotations in lateral flexion. So we're in a side bend. That's lateral flexion. I'm going to keep that, but I'm going to rotate forward and around. Let your gaze go along, see what you see, different perspective. And then let's go back to this just isolated lateral flexion. And then from there, we're going to rotate back. Now look up as you rotate back. We'll do that one more time. Keep your elbow in line with your armpit. And maybe as you're rotating forward and around, you may feel some stretch in the back. I feel it mostly in the lowest part of my thoracic spine and my lumbar spine. But as you go back and you reach back with that elbow, you get a nice stretch in the pectoralis muscles and the upper front part of the chest. And then back to neutral. Let's swoop those arms up, reach, 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 and over. Take a lateral flexion to the left. So now the right sit bone, stick it down there. Reach from there. So you're really stretching in both directions. You add a little something by pushing down into the right sit bone. Left arm gets heavy. Maybe you go a little deeper into this side bend and then take the hand to the back of the head. Now, as you exhale, twists are usually pretty good on the exhale because that act of twisting really kind of pushes diaphragm up into the lungs and pushes breath out. And then we're going to rotate back to lateral flexion and then go on back. See how the stretch changes. And then once you're really aware of where the stretch is, then you can get creative and maybe tap into something a little different. Maybe some muscle fibers right on the edges that would like a little stretch too. And then come back to center. Sweep both of those arms up. Exhale, hands home to the heart. Forgive me while I move something so I can see the clock. I did not make sure I could see that before I sat down. And that will be important. Yep, I can see it now. Okay, let's do a few shoulder rolls, but go slow. Feel, come forward and then go up. How high up can you go? Tuck that head down, go back. And as the shoulders come down, lengthen through the crown of the head. And then again, little rounding through the back. Tuck the ears down like a little turtle. Shoulders go back and down. Let's do two more like that. Inhale up. Exhale back and down. One more. Slow. Take full advantage of this range of motion. Don't hurry through it. Self-care. Let's inhale, sweep the arms out and up. And exhale, hands home to the heart. So I've gained many benefits that I can apply to my own life through my years of training. as a yoga teacher, as a Qigong instructor, as a personal trainer. And you just discover things that you don't have to be any of that. You just have to bring awareness and mindfulness to these movement practices, and you'll find that perhaps someday it's like, oh my goodness, got this catch right here. What can I do? Well, then you've got something to go back to. Maybe, oh, maybe if I do this, and yep, there, that helps. So I hope I'm helping you throughout your day. So we've done a little twisting. Let's do a little more cat-cow. So flexion and extension. Hands to the knees. So extension is the back bend. So let's pull on the knees. Bring that chest forward. Tip the pelvis. Bend your elbows. Pull on the knees. Lift the heart. So it's almost like you have a cord here on your heart, and I'm lifting your chest up. Keep some tone in the neck so you don't just throw the head back, and you're gazing up. Big inhale, draw that prana into the heart space, in through the eyes. And then as you exhale, we're going to round the back, but go slow, ripple through all of those muscles. Maybe you reach those arms long again. This can be like a good morning stretch. We're just in a strange position. And then inhale into extension, into a back bend. Look up. See if you can bring your shoulder blades closer together. And then exhale, round the back. I think there's 24 vertebrae. There's 5 or 7 in the neck. There's 12 in the thoracic vertebrae. Keep moving. And there's 7, usually 7 in the lumbar spine. Each one of those can and should move independently. So let's give them a little chance to shine here. Move each one of them, all those little muscles getting a chance to be stretched and to be activated. And I'm going to swing my knees around again. Now I want you to keep the hands on the knees. We're going to heel toe the knees open wide. And then it always feels good to adjust yourself on your sit bones. So the sit bones, by opening them, get kind of bunched up. And if you just kind of up and down here a little bit, things can kind of slide into better placement. Now sitting tall, that nice tall upright spine. We're going to twist, just twist. I got my hands anchored to my legs. I'm going to use those hands to help me twist. Think about the low back. Twist through the lumbar spine. Keep sitting tall. Get taller as you twist. Now maybe the rib cage spine. So shoulder blades are a good landmark. And then maybe you can take that gaze a little deeper over the right shoulder. Breathe up and down the spine. Breathe into the belly. Big inhale. Exhale. Pull the navel in. Lift the pelvic floor. 2 more like that. So that little engagement, I mean, you can really bring quite a bit of engagement to the core by drawing navel in, lifting the navel a bit, squeezing the pelvic floor. So that is building the core, that's strengthening the core. Now look over the left shoulder and just release and unwind. So in addition to strengthening core, you're also massaging the contents of the abdomen. Let's go the other way. Sit tall, start tall. We're going to think about the lumbar spine first as we start our twist to the left. Feel that low back. And then it won't go any further. And then you can concentrate maybe on developing a little more twist in the rib cage spine. I find shoulder blades can be helpful with that, noticing where they're at. And then look over the left shoulder, sitting tall, like there's a cord on the crown of your head, and I'm giving you a gentle tug upward. Breathe into the belly, big inhale. Exhale, navel towards spine, squeeze the pelvic floor. 2 more. Last one. Now take your gaze towards the center of the room and then let go, unwind, like a little spring unwinding. Let's rotate through the fingers and the wrists again, a little quicker this time. And then see if you can reverse the direction of that. And notice if your toes are like my toes, they always want to start wiggling when I'm doing things with my fingers. Let's take the hands to the knees again. We're going to add to that twist. So we're going to do our twist, and then we're going to fold over that right thigh. Now feel what's going on. I'm leaning over the right thigh. I'm going to press into my feet. Feel the activation of the muscles in the legs. Put that left sit bone down on the chair. Push it down. And then take the left arm and reach from that direction. Feel all that wonderful stretch. Now push strongly, especially into that right foot. We're going to paint a nice rainbow. Bringing the hand back up and over. Left hand on left knee, right hand on right knee. Let's go the other way. Let's turn to the left. I'm going to bow down, moving from the hip. Start pushing into the feet. Activate the muscles of the legs. Feel that. Now push that right sit bone down. Maybe a little something, a little extra stretch in the low back. Now take the right arm and reach, reach, reach across. See how much stretch you can get. And then push into the foot, paint your rainbow, come back up. Let's do one more each side. First the twist, then the fold. Anchor opposite sit bone and reach from there. Push into the feet, paint a nice rainbow, come back up. Let's twist, fold, anchor the right sit bone, reach. Inhale. Bring the arms out and up. Let's swing your arms up again, bringing the hands together slowly. Feel the touch. Exhale, hands home to the heart. Open the arms wide. Let's take a little back bend here. Elbows are bent a little. Heart's lifted again. That cord is pulling your chest up as you come into a back bend. Almost like you're going to throw your arms over like a fence. You're going to lean back over a fence. Gaze up. Keep the neck nice and long. Drink in that. Picture the sunshine. Feel the sunshine. Drink it all in. All that yang energy from the sky. And then arms overhead, bring the hands together slowly. And exhale, hands home to the heart. Now we're going to hinge at the hips and lean forward. Take the hands to the knees. Push into the feet. Push into the feet so much that it feels like you're going to lift your bottom off the chair. Really engage the muscles of the legs. But then check the knees. Make sure you haven't dropped the knees inward. Those knees are still tracking down the center of your feet. And then sweep those arms out wide. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Lengthen through the crown of the head. This is called a modified leaning goddess pose. Breathe. Legs can be very, very active here, but you have to engage those legs. Push a little harder. Maybe you lift a little more weight, a few more breaths. Next inhale, push into the feet, swing the arms out and up. And exhale, hands home to the heart. Now let's heel toe the feet about halfway in. So now I'm kind of at a 45-degree angle. I'm going to scoot really close to the front edge of the chair. Got my hands on the seat of the chair to keep my spine neutral. I'm just going to windshield wiper through the shins. So I'm rolling from one edge of my feet to the other. The movement is primarily across the feet, but also up here in the hips. Let's just rotate around through the hip socket or side to side movement. And then coming right back up to stillness. Bring your hands to your knees again and heel toe the feet so the knees are in line with the hips. I'm still on the edge of the chair. I want you to roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Extend your right leg out long. I'm on the heel. I'm going to dig that heel down into the floor without letting it move, like I'm going to glue that heel there and then try to draw it back. Don't let the heel actually move. Making the action of pulling it back engages a lot of muscles in the leg. So leg's active again, but I'm also protecting the knee from hyperextension. Sit tall on an inhale. Exhale, I'm pulling your heartstring again. You're going to lean forward, bowing down over the left thigh. Push into that left foot. Maybe the right hand comes out and helps those toes, pull the toes towards the shin. But if you can't reach down there, no big deal. 2 more breaths. Now push strongly into the left foot, rise up again. Let's bring the right foot back, extend the left leg out long onto the heel. Toes towards the shin. Glue that heel to the floor, try to pull it towards you, activate all of those muscles. Sitting tall on your inhale, hands are here on the chair. As you exhale, being pulled forward by the heart as you lean over that right thigh. Movement comes from the hip crease. And then really push into that right foot. Maybe the left hand swings down there for the toes. Take a deep breath. Where do you feel it? Maybe in your back. Now push strongly into the left foot. Bring that foot back as you swing your arms out and up. Keep your arms by your ears. We're going to hip hinge over both hips. Arms are still up by the ears. And we're going to push into the feet just like we did with Leaning Goddess, but this time we're going to keep the arms up by the ears. So this would be a modified chair pose, Utkatasana. I'll take a couple more breaths. Breathe into the belly still. Expand the belly. Now push strongly into the feet, swing the arms up, and exhale, arms to the sides. Let's do a little backstroke here. Moving through the shoulder sockets, noticing that twist that's starting to develop. Get a little faster, but nothing crazy. And let's reverse the direction. So do the front crawl. Back when I was a kid, that's what they called it, the front crawl. I think they call it freestyle now. And then let the arms hang. Maybe shake the arms out a little bit. Time for a little relaxation. I'm going to come up closer to the computer, but I want you to find a place on your chair where you feel supported, but you're not tempted to give up that nice alignment, especially of the spine, as we come into our final resting pose. Remember, in a floor class, we would call this Shavasana. But that translates to corpse pose. If you were on a mat, you could lay down and look like a corpse. Right now, I just want you to find a place where you can sit and still feel the integrity of the bones, but the muscles can relax, and just listen to my voice. Sitting tall, reaching up through the crown of the head. I have a little guided visualization today. A couple more breaths, just arriving to this place of stillness. And I'd like you to imagine that it's early in the morning before the sun rises. And for some reason, you just woke up, no alarm clock. You just woke up and you're very awake. And you think, well, I might as well just get up. And if you normally have a warm beverage in the morning, maybe you've made that cup of tea or coffee, hot chocolate. You have your robe on and your slippers on and you're nice and cozy warm. But you step out onto the porch, into the rocking chair, that warm cup between your hands. And you gaze out to the horizon, and it's still dark enough that the stars are out. And you can see shapes on the horizon, but really, other than knowing what might be there, you can't really define the detail. And you gaze up and look at those stars. And then you sip your drink a few times. And as you lift your gaze, you notice the horizon is starting to be less dark and a little light, a little glow, a little warm glow peeking up over the horizon. You're rocking in the rocking chair. Noticing that the stars that are closest to the horizon are starting to fade with the light of the sunrise. And the sun gets a little more visible. You can start to see that little sliver making its way above the horizon. And now you can see more detail in the trees. Fewer and fewer stars. Colors are changing on the horizon, going from oranges maybe to some coral colors, peach colors. What would your sunrise look like? Now you can see the breeze in the leaves. And every now and then you feel the breeze in your hair. And now you start to notice the birds are waking up. You can hear their song all around you. You can hear a chorus, and you can also pick out individual songs. Now the sun's high enough in the sky that you can see the blue sky starting to develop, maybe a few clouds, maybe tinged in that early morning pink color. You're just in your rocking chair, wrapped up warm with that little cup in your hand with maybe a swallow or two left in it. And you're just overcome with gratitude, very grateful for the moment and for everything around you. As you take that last sip of your beverage, you can smell that. And you know that it's time to get up and start getting ready for the day. But energized from this sunrise, this awakening of yang energy, energy of action, energy of the day. Now start to make your breath deeper. And every exhale, you release a little more of that image that's in your mind. Just kind of dissolve like a sandcastle on the beach when the waves come and go. It doesn't go all at once, but eventually it's gone. But you can make that sandcastle again, and you can visit this place again anytime you need to. Now start to move your fingers, move your toes, maybe you roll the shoulders, do whatever you want to do. If you want to stand up and dance, stand up and dance. Let's reach up together one more time. Grab whatever you need. Remember, there's abundance. Exhale. One more out breath with the intention of letting go of any last bits that no longer serve you, taking up space. May you have peaceful thoughts, peaceful words, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful world. Namaste. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Kim, you're welcome.
Hey. Stay well.
You too. Bye-bye, Jacqueline.
Thank you
Bye,
so much.
everybody.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.